Knights of Kiteboarding descended on Fehmarn Germany for the Pringles Kitesurf World Cup, featuring the world's best freestyle kitesurfers along with the world's top foil and slalom riders. This was the 11th Kitesurf World Cup event in Germany and the first one ever to be held in Fehmarn, as tens of thousands of fans from all over Germany and Europe gathered to watch spectacular freestyle jumps and thrilling foil and slalom races along the Südstrand. Situated just north of Hamburg, this sunny island in the Baltic Sea is famous for its nature and recreation areas, especially during the summer season, and it's also considered one of the world's top windsurf and kitesurf locations, with a dozen surf spots located throughout the island's 78 kilometers of coastline. With a population of 12,000, Fehmarn is an idyllic location featuring small villages, beautiful windswept beaches, and the quaint town of Burg. Connected to the mainland by the Fehmarn-Sundsbrück, this little island has a lot to offer, including picturesque sunsets, sailing until dusk, perfect camping grounds, and long sandy beaches that attract not only surfers but also holidaymakers seeking sun and sea. Fehmarn is also known for its numerous summer festivals, and this is where Jimi Hendrix gave his last concert. It's like a scene out of an indie European road movie, and the perfect location for the 11th Pringles Kitesurf World Cup. Beyond the racing was also an entertainment-packed side program with events, DJs, outdoor and indoor parties, new equipment on offer from the top brands, and overall fun and relaxation that accompanied the Pringles Kitesurf World Cup action on the water. The Pringles Kitesurf World Cup would include 3 events: the freestyle competition and, for the first time ever, foil racing and slalom racing. It's a star-studded field in the men's and women's freestyle, with most of the talent from Mai Tai Cabarete Freestyle Invitational heading to Fehmarn, joined by yet more talent from Europe and around the world. The Brazilians are always strong, and they've got the world #1 spot in both women's and men's. World #1 and Cabarete runner-up Carlos Mario, aka Bebé, leads a contingent of Brazilians that also includes Alex Neto, who's keen to build on his finals finish in Cabarete.
I wasn't expecting so much, to be honest, like getting that 6th place in Cabarete. So then after that I was like really motivated, and I went back home and I just like started training like a lot for this competition here in Germany. The level there was really hard, and I believe it's gonna be the same here. But I'm feeling like really comfortable and motivated to do my best here again and fight for the podium. It's always like super cool to come here and see like everybody from the brands and from the kite industry, and it feels like good vibes are about to happen here, so let's see what's gonna happen.
But the Brazilians will be up against the might of Europe, featuring Spanish world champions and Cabarete finalists Alex Pastor and Liam Whaley, as well as David Tony Juan. Also returning is 5-time champion Aaron Hadlow, who's competing in his first event since his shoulder injury.
I wasn't able to come to the first one and just had a small problem with my shoulder, but this has got better now, and been practicing for this event in particular here in Germany. So the last couple of years have gone really good for me. I won both events, so to come back it's special. There's really cool fans, and the structure of the event's super good. So for me to come here, it's always nice every year. Yeah, it's really nice to come to my first WKL event, because to see the live stream running, to see the structure, all the riders really united and doing everything for the right reasons. So yeah, it's really been really turbulent in the past, and now we've all come together. We are in a really good direction, and now some more events for the next few months. And yeah, looking forward to seeing how this is going to grow and what it will turn into.
Former world champion and WKL board member Yuri Zoon of the Netherlands will also be competing. His early exit in cabarete caused a shock that he wants to avoid in Fehmarn.
My last event in cabaret, I didn't do so well, so I definitely have something to do. I have something to show that I'm capable of running in this format as well, since we're running a new format. I really learned from my mistakes that I made in cabaret. So yeah, for this event here, I really have to put my foot down and just make it happen. I tried to get first place in the first round. Once you get first place in the first round, you go directly into the third round, and that's definitely a big benefit. So I'm really gonna give my all in the first heat and see if I can make it. With the upcoming forecast, we're gonna have an offshore wind, so it's gonna be very gusty. So it's gonna be a tricky wind. In those kind of tricky winds, you never know what's gonna happen. Sometimes even the favorites can make mistakes as well. So I'm definitely hoping I can just show my best, try to win the event.
The Dominican riders who caused such a sensation in cabarete will also be there, including cabarete champion Luis Alberto Cruz, Aduri Corniel, Joselito del Rosario, and Posito Martinez. Host country Germany will be represented by Marianne Hund from Munich, multiple European champion Mario Rothwald, and Linus Erdmann from Hamburg. In the women's, world number one Bruna Cagia of Brazil will be joined by all the best from cabarete and more, including cabarete runner-up Paula Novotná of Czech Republic, British sensation Hannah Whiteley, Spanish surfer Rita Arnaus, Pauline Valesa of France, German talent Sabrina Lutz from Hamburg, who placed 5th last year, and from the Netherlands, Annabel van Westerop and the up-and-coming Isabeau Galliard.
Yeah, so this is our second day of the competition and it looks like the wind is finally blowing. So everybody's super excited to get on the water. The wind's been pretty steady, it's coming from the east today. And it also makes the water okay to ride because it's kind of flat between the waves. So I think everybody's really excited to go on the water and compete.
The freestyle event kicked off with the trials to see who would make it into the main draw with the top-ranked riders. In the women's trials, conditions made the going tough, but Laura Jobert performed a solid set of tricks to earn her position in the main event. Joining her was Annabel van Westerop, who gave a strong and confident performance, her S-bend to blind scoring a 6.9, the highest women's score of the day. The last heat of the trials was a tight call between Francesca Bagnoli of Italy and Isabeau Galliard from the Netherlands, but it was Isabeau who nailed an S-bend to blind right at the end of the session, earning her the final spot in the main event. In the men's trials, conditions were challenging with 20 to 25 knot side offshore winds. The Dominican riders once again proved their talent as all three in the trials made their way to the main event. Cabarete winner Luis Alberto Cruz secured his place in the main event with a solid performance, finishing first in a closely battled heat. Another cabarete finalist from the Dominican Republic, Aduri Corniel, showed some deft skills as he continued his exceptional performance to win his heat. Joselito del Rosario was also dominant, making his way into the main event with some solid tricks. Belgian rider Lars de Groof and Austrian Michael Schitzhofer also secured their places for the main event. The Austrian rider hadn't been happy with his performance this year, but he's hoping to improve his ranking and make his way into the top 10 for 2016. The sixth and final spot belonged to Anta Raka from Mexico. he performed a variety of tricks and showed that the future of the sport is in good hands. When the winds are too low to run the freestyle, it's time for the foils, which can be run on as little as 5 knots. The best foil racers in the world went head-to-head in Fehmarn.
My home spot here in Germany, I'm very used to those light conditions, and as you can see, the sun is shining and we hope for some very good races.
German racer Florian Gruber lived up to his reputation to win 3 out of the 4 races, followed closely by Adrian Geislinger and the young Janis Maus. In the women, Katja Roos dominated the field.
Yeah, it's totally different to freestyle. It's all about going fast and going as fast upwind as possible. Our board comes totally out of the water. And the reason why is because underneath water we have a little airplane which flies in the water and pushes us out of the water. And the reason why we want that's because we don't have that much drag in the water, so we can go faster, better upwind, better downwind.
The next 4 races were run in light winds. Benny Boeli of Germany won the first race, but was beaten by the ever-consistent Florian Gruber in race 2. Boeli bounced back to take race 3 as well, before Russian racer Denis Taradin closed out race 4 with the win. But it was Florian Gruber who once again reigned victorious, winning the overall title in Fehmarn. Adrian Geislinger was runner-up, Benny Boeli on the podium in 3rd. In the women's foil, Katja Roos took top honors ahead of Leonie Meyer. In the main event, heats 1 and 2, the girls struggled with the wind conditions. Hannah Whiteley and Paula Novotna earned 1st and 2nd places in their heat, both riders going directly to round 3.
Yeah, so I just had the first heat of the main event and we've got really challenging conditions now. It's like really gusty, sometimes you're full power, overpowered, and then the next minute you've got like no power. So yeah, it's gonna be a tough competition, but yeah, I'm really happy I won the heat, so I'm advancing straight to the 3rd round. So yeah, stoked about that.
In Heat 2, Isabeau Galliard managed to continue her powerful riding to win her heat, landing a nice Hinterberger Mobe, followed by Pauline Valesa in 2nd place, who finished with an S-bend to blind, which earned her a place in round 3. Men's main event, round 1, heat 1, the winds picked up to 15 knots as Aduri Corniel put on a strong display, landing a stylish backside 317 to earn 7.87 points. Dutch former world champion Yuri Zoon put on an outstanding performance, keen to make up for his poor result in Cabarete, where he got knocked out in round 1. His efforts were well rewarded, with several high scores, including the highest scoring trick of the day, a fantastic frontside 317, which got him 8.37 points. It was Zoon and Corniel who gained 1st and 2nd positions to go directly through to round 3.
Yeah, luckily the wind filled in, and we were on a bigger size, but it worked out pretty good. As you can see, like, the wind's a bit far out, so I was really trying to look for the wind, where's the best wind, and yeah, I kind of used all my experience that I built up over the years, and it worked out. I'm super happy with my heat, and in Cabaret I made some mistakes. I got knocked out in the 1st round, so here was like, I just have to win it. And yeah, luckily I did. I was pretty satisfied with the heat as well. I wanted to do one more good trick in the end, but I knew I had 6 pretty solid tricks already, so yeah, I'm just stoked how it worked out, and now we're round 3.
Passing through to the 2nd round was Seth Tejera from Brazil and Paul Saran from France, who both battled hard to remain in the top 4 so they would have a second chance in the next round. The second heat of round one for the men was unfortunately cancelled due to the deteriorating conditions. With the winds being below the required amount needed to run the freestyle competition, the freestyle riders were released for the day. The poor wind conditions continued for the next few days as riders waited, lounged through the long waits. Meanwhile, the event village was packed with people from Germany and all around Europe. They were unable to watch the kitesurfers, but they enjoyed the festival atmosphere with lots of events and attractions, discovering new surf gear and technologies, and of course, partying continuously until the small hours. Meanwhile, the elected WKL board members, Yuri Zun, Liam Whaley, Bruna Kajia, and Alex Pastor, held a meeting to discuss how to proceed in order to complete the event in the shortest amount of time possible. With a very reduced wind window for the final 2 days, it was eventually decided to run a more time-efficient ladder in order to complete the event.
Yeah, it's been really hard, this event so far, because we've been waiting around for so long to try and get the right conditions, and it's frustrating that the wind hasn't appeared and come, but we've had a meeting and we've actually condensed the format down so that we can do it in less time, so we only need 4 hours of wind now. At every opportunity we're trying to get on the water, but it can be frustrating because the wind's quite light and the heats are getting cancelled, and yeah, it's really quite a difficult situation right now, but as soon as the wind comes in and we're going to be able to get a good flow and then, do heat by heat and hopefully get a result soon. So for me, I'm in a very difficult heat already in the first, and the top 3 have to go through. So hopefully I can get in that top 3 to advance.
Day 9, the wind finally picked up to about 14 knots around noon, and the men's round 1, heat 2 was on. Although most riders were on 14-meter kites, most managed to pull out some solid powered tricks. Liam Whaley dominated his heat, landing an excellent backside 317 that scored him 8.23 points. Liam managed to remain at the top throughout his heat, guaranteeing his spot in the next round. Cabarete winner Luis Alberto Cruz this time failed to connect with the conditions during his heat, leading to his elimination from the event. Another upset in the same heat was the elimination of former event winner Aaron Hadlow, who failed to find the wind he needed during his heat. Posito Martinez from the Dominican Republic rode a solid heat, landing the highest scoring trick, a Hinterberger Mob 7 for 8.3, which put him through to the next round, but it was Alex Pastor from Spain who lived up to his reputation, throwing an amazing KGB 5 right at the end, which gave him the advantage over his opponents and placed him in 3rd position for the heat, gaining the last crucial spot for the next round. Heat number 3 saw Belgian rider Jerome Kloitens narrowly miss out on his place in the next round as he struggled to land enough high-scoring tricks. Austrian Mike Schitzhofer rode a good, steady heat to take a spot in the next round.
I kind of landed my shit.
Joining him was his fellow Austrian Stefan Spiesberger and Spanish rider David Tony Juan, who coped extremely well with the challenging conditions and also passed through to the next round. Heat number 4 was unfortunately cancelled due to another drop in wind conditions. The riders all fought hard to land their tricks, but after 3 trick attempts per rider, the heat was called off. Wind conditions unfortunately did not pick up for the remainder of the day. On the 10th and final day, it was time for the men's Round 1, Heat 4, which was uncompleted from the previous day. The men had 3 trick attempts left, and it was Carlos Mario who blasted his way through the heat, taking first place, followed by French rider Valgarat and Dominican rider Joselito del Rosario, all 3 of them gaining a place in Round 2. Cabarete finalist Alex Neto nearly made it through with a whopping 7.8 kgb5 on his very last trick, but he was just 0.03 shy of Del Rosario, and the Brazilian's high hopes were dashed. Heat 5 was intense, with so many top riders battling for the win and a place in the next round. World number 3 Yuri Zun needed to get into the top 3 to make it through, but ahead of him was the consistent Aduri Corniel, who scored above 6 in his first 5 tricks. A crash and a low score were serious setbacks for Zun, but with a 4 out of 6 tricks rule, he was able to knock some strong moves out before it came down to the last trick. Aduri Corniel this time had trouble, whereas Zun went out in a last gasp effort to strike a solid 6.77 on his last move, barely scraping through into 3rd place behind Alex Pastor, who put on a strong display to win the heat, and Liam Whaley in 2nd, but all at the expense of Aduri Corniel. There was hardly anything separating the top 4 riders in this heat, easily the toughest so far.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I didn't expect to just win that heat, you know. It was like the hardest heat of the comp so far, so yeah, it's just unbelievable. I had a really good heat, everything worked out, and yeah, I'm just really stoked to make it to the final. The beginning was light and the end was light, and I think we're all really struggling, but we knew we had to push through, and yeah, I know I didn't win the heat, but I'm just super stoked that I made it into the final.
Yeah, so top 3 make it into the final, and that was like a really stressful heat. Like we were always going down to 3rd place, and then the 4th place was trying to sneak in there.
That was a tense one.
And I think Yuri actually just landed like the last back mode 5 on the buzzer, which made him just get into the top 3.
Yeah.
So, you know, now we're all in the final, me, Alex and Yuri, and we're super pumped.
Definitely, hope the win stays and we can finish this up. Last day of the event, running finals. Doesn't get better than that, right?
As the wind kept dropping, the men waited nervously for the 2nd semi-final to begin. David Tony Juan was in form and raring to go, not letting the low winds get him down, wanting to build on his outstanding performance in the previous heat.
It's actually a bit complicated, so the wind is not here yet, but we've been waiting for a long time. We canceled out heat, and we just need like around 20 minutes more to be able to finish this round. So let's just be positive. It looks like there's something coming up there, and I just want to finish.
But the highly anticipated wins never came, a crushing blow to Tony Juan and all the other riders. Unfortunately, the men's main event was not completed. This meant that all 12 remaining riders would receive the same points at Fehmarn.
I'm just sad. I had a good way to get into the final, but couldn't make it at the end because, well, you see the wind didn't get here. And well, next time we'll make it in the next event in Egypt. We'll see.
So top 12 men in the end. I mean, we have kind of a result, not what we wanted. You know, we've been here for 10 days, but the organization of the event was great. Everything went pretty well except for the wind. And at the end of the day, that's quite important. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next event in Egypt, and yeah, stoked.
But it was a different story for the women, who luckily had just enough wind to complete the final. Bruna Cagia from Brazil put on a powerful comeback display after riding a disappointing heat in the last round. She was on fire, landing an impressive array of tricks and dominating her heat. Hannah Whiteley and Annabelle van Westerop were locked into a battle for 2nd place. On her last trick, Van Westerup had the chance to beat Whiteley, scoring a 5.63 back to blind. But it was just 0.19 points shy of Whiteley's score as she landed an impressive back mob, scoring a 5.97. That gave Whiteley the runner-up result, with Annabelle Van Westerup finishing third ahead of Paula Novotna.
I'm so happy. It's hard to find words to express this. We've been waiting for when the whole week, and you know, the expectation just builds and builds and builds. So this is such a great relief that we have win, and we managed to compete, and yeah, I won. I'm so happy beyond words, and I'm happy to share this with my friends. The girls are on the water with me. Like Annabelle rode so well, she got third, and I saw Hannah riding too, she got second. And yeah, just all smiles today.
Bruna Kagia was a WKL Kitesurf World Cup winner at Fehmarn. That completed the 11th Kitesurf World Cup in Germany. See you in Egypt.